Good evening, Free Credit Repair Advice Group. This is CrediTV Facebook Live. It's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We do this every week at this time. This is our regular CrediTV broadcast. Every week we come at you in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group with a different topic. We have covered everything from busting credit myths to what to do after a bankruptcy. Now, I'm going into a series here of a few different topics coming up that were requested by you. We put up a poll in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group and said, what topics would you like us to cover, okay? This topic tonight, by far, got the most votes. So what we're working on tonight is verification, validation, and letters. Verification, validation, and letters. This is the investigation process on your credit report itself. So I want to give a second for the room to fill up. While the room is filling up, I want to remind you, if you have not joined us yet on our YouTube channel, CrediTV, that's CrediTV, I invite you to do so. CrediTV, give us a follow, give us a thumbs up, a like, put some comments on videos you like, but on there you'll see past Facebook Lives. On there you'll see some specific programming that was made just for CrediTV. On there you will also see our financial foundations and credit class and a bunch of content that we've made solely for that broadcast spectrum. So that's CrediTV, CrediTV, and Mark's gone ahead and dropped a link in the chat for that. So that's one thing. The other thing is we do Facebook Live, CrediTV Facebook Live, every Wednesday night in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group. Now, in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group, if you go to the events section, you'll be able to look at all the upcoming topics. You'll be able to RSVP for them, and that'll set up a situation where it'll send you a reminder the day of. But to remember, you can watch these things live. It's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Tonight we are doing verification, validation, and the letters. Next week it's going to be best accounts for credit building. On the 27th, we're doing how FICO works. On the 11th of July, we're skipping July 4th, which is a Wednesday. On the 11th of July, we're doing big credit goals, mortgages, and automobile loans, and the credit requirements for those. On the 25th, we've got free credit monitoring. It's not such a good deal. We'll be going over why then. And then on Wednesday, August 1st, we are going to go ahead and do when and how to make a settlement on debt. So those are the upcoming episodes, but I want to get down to it. I want to get down into it. Tonight, it's verification, it's validation, and it's letters. So we talk a lot in the group about the investigation process. The investigation process, which is approaching the credit bureaus and saying, hey, this isn't mine, or hey, this is mine, but with all due respect, prove it. Now, the very first step in any credit restoration process, in any credit restoration you're going to want to do, is the verification and validation process, okay? I want to talk to you a little bit about what the difference is in these two. You hear the terms used interchangeably, oftentimes incorrectly, okay? So we're going to start off with verification. Verification is when you communicate with the credit bureaus, with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and you're communicating that you want them to verify the information that's being reported on your credit report as being accurate and factual and current and correct and verifiable as of today. So we're looking to verify. What we're looking to have TransUnion and Equifax and Experian do is reach out to the creditors and say, hey, you've provided us with such and such information. We want to verify that it's correct. And if it's not, it needs to be deleted permanently from the credit profile. And there's a number of different things you can verify. There are actually 27 different aspects that correspond with 27 different dispute codes or condition codes at the bureaus. But there are aspects like, what is the account number? Please verify you've got the right account number. Please verify the date of last activity. Please verify the name on the account. Please verify the balance on the account. Please verify the condition of the account, if it's closed, if it's open. Please verify that it's a charge-off status. Now, what happens is you send off an investigation letter, a paper snail mail letter. And we have got a sample investigation template in the files section of the free credit repair advice group. That's free for you to use. Now, keep in mind, it's a template. It's an example. It's a sample. It's not the end-all, be-all. You need to change it up. Like, you need to put your own accounts in it. You need to put your own name on the thing. And you want to add some of your own language to embrace it and really make it yours. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to write up your letter. And in this letter, you are going to be verifying an aspect, a single aspect of every account that you've got questions on, okay? So let's say you have a Capital One account that had 30-day lates on it, and now it's closed, but you've got these past 30-day lates, and they're hurting you. So, hey, Capital One, I would like you to verify that I was indeed late 30 days in June of 14, July of 14, and in August of 14. Otherwise, I demand you delete the account from my credit profile, or I demand you update the account to show no lates. Now, after you make these demands, and mind you, you're demanding all of these things all on one letter. So to Equifax, you're asking everything, every account that you're investigating, you're doing it all in one letter to Equifax. Experian, same deal, every account to Experian. TransUnion, every account. So you're writing 3 letters, one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion, with all the accounts laid out on it, with one aspect of each that you're investigating. So you mail these letters off to the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They legally have 5 business days to notify the creditors, the people that reported this information, that they must provide the verification that everything's accurate and factual and current and correct and verifiable today, not back when they reported it, but on this investigation. So TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they notify the bureaus, they are the bureaus, they notify the creditors that they must provide this verification. The creditors have 30 calendar days in which to respond back to the bureaus with all of the verification that it's accurate, it's up to date, and it's correct. Now, if the creditors fail to respond to the bureaus in exactly 30 days, if they fail to respond at all, or if what they respond with doesn't satisfy the specificity and the minutia of the one of 27 conditions that you asked about, well, then that information is deemed by the credit bureaus as unverifiable, and by law, it's permanently deleted, gone from the credit profile, from your credit report, okay? It does not mean the debt's gone. If you owe someone $1, you still owe them $1. But it means that that company, that collection agency, that creditor has lost the legal ability to report this information to the credit bureaus, and that's very powerful, okay? Now, within about 7 business days, the credit bureaus are going to send you result letters, and you'll get 3, one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion, and they consolidate all these accounts you asked about down into one, so it doesn't look like you just got a fan club or anything like that. And they're going to come in very plain window envelopes. You're just going to have a P.O. box for the return address. It's not going to say TransUnion or results or anything like that on it. Very plain envelopes. They look like junk mail. They're not junk mail. They're very important mail. We don't know what the hell's in them. Make sure you're opening your mail, okay? Because they tell us what happened in that set of investigations. It tells us what happened in that round of investigations, and it tells us what to do next. Okay, so there's a misconception that everything's 30 days, 30 days. It's not. You heard those time frames I talked about, 5 business days for the creditors to be notified by the bureaus, and then 30 calendar days for the creditors to do the investigation, and about 7 business days for the credit bureaus to get you those letters back. So with mailing time and all that, an average round of investigation takes about 45 days, okay? Now, round 1 can be really exciting. If stuff is easy to get rid of, oftentimes it'll go away because it was easy to get rid of. But I do fully expect some of these guys to verify, to validate, to document, whatever, especially if they got skin in the game, if you owe them money, if they think there's money to be made. So let's say they do verify. Well, what do we do next? We write another letter. We ask about a different aspect. We ask a different question. Maybe what they responded with in that result letter, maybe it raised a question. Maybe it showed a weakness. Or maybe it said, Jeremy, you're barking up the wrong damn tree. You need to go a totally different direction. But here's the thing. In the investigation process, in the verification process with the bureaus, every result is a good result. We either get what we're after, or essentially we get a roadmap on how to get what we're after. Does that make sense to everyone? So it's about sending these letters out. Now, you hear me talking about letters. I'm going to knock out a couple of verification misconceptions. Number one, it's okay to do your verifications or disputes online. That's false. The reason it's not okay to do this is when you dispute or investigate online, you actually give up a number of your consumer rights. You give up the right to paper copies of results. You give up the right to sue them if they screw you over. You agree to arbitration. And you give up the right that they have to notify you if they want to put something back on. There's a legal procedure if they wanted to put something back on where they have to give you 5 business days notification, this whole deal. They don't do it like that. They'll just take something off and you think you're great and you're going for a mortgage or whatever. Well, they put it on the next month, the next time it reported. So by doing this in writing, by sending snail mail, paper letters, you eliminate that, you maintain your rights. So always think of it like this. If we're trying to paper trail something, use paper. Okay. The next misconception is that you have to handwrite these letters, or you might want to do them in colored ink or on colored paper or lined paper because the machine can't read it. That's false, okay? These machines, the eOscar system, which is the computerized system that reads these letters, a human's not reading your letters. A computerized system is. These things are extremely sophisticated. They can read handwriting, they can read cursive, they can read colors, they can read lined paper. Well, if you mess it up too bad, yes, it will get kicked out of the eOscar system, but it won't force someone to read it. You've now qualified that as being frivolous, and they don't have to do the investigation. Type the damn thing up. Save yourself some writer's cramp. Keep it easy, make it legible, and you'll have much better results. That's what we do professionally. The third misconception with the investigation letters is that you need to send them via certified mail. Professionally, out of the 100,000 credit reports I've worked on, probably 50,000 plus clients in my career, I've sent this many certified. And I'm one of the most successful people you're going to find in this industry as far as overall results and as far as my career has been. We do not send them certified. Keep in mind, you're sending these things to a post office box. Unless there's a little tiny person living inside that box with a little ballpoint pen that can sign for this damn thing, you're not getting a signature. Save yourself some money. If you want to spend $6 on something times 3 for these letters, donate it to our Haiti mission or do something positive for your community with it, but don't waste it on postage, okay? Verification. So if you need a sample verification letter, to verification or dispute letter. So I'm going to tell you the difference between verification and dispute. Verification is you exercising your legal rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to say, hey guys, with all due respect, prove it. Prove it's mine, prove it's real, prove it's up to date, prove it, prove it, prove it. And if you can't prove it, you have to remove it. The reason that this is, none of the info on your credit report or my credit report or anyone's credit report gets verified month to month to month. They simply publish whatever they're paid to publish, okay? So you have a legal right to say, prove it. I'm not saying it's not mine. I'm saying prove it. You're required by law to prove it upon demand. I'm demanding, and if you can't prove it, you have to remove it. Now, disputing is a thing, and there is a time and place to dispute. You're going to dispute it if it's wrong. You're going to dispute it if you know it to be inaccurate or you know it to be false. That's the time to dispute it. But you're not going to dispute something you know to be yours. You're not going to dispute something you know to be accurate. That would be lying. You're going to simply investigate it and say, I'm exercising my rights to an investigation. That's the difference between investigating and disputing. This whole thing, disputing, investigating, this is all an exchange between you and the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And that is verification. Verification is saying prove it or remove it. Validation. The next thing we're going to talk about, validation. You've heard the term 609 letter before? That's using Section 609 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is a demand for validation. Verification is saying prove it. I want the creditors to prove this to the bureaus. Validation is saying show me some evidence, okay? It sounds like it's real similar, but it isn't. Validation is saying show me some stuff that validates that this debt is real, that validates you own the debt, that validates that this debt is collectible, that validates that I'm on the hook for this money that you claim that I owe, okay? Validation goes to creditors. Creditors are the credit card company that you worked with. Creditors are collection agencies. Creditors are, anybody that you owe the money to, okay? And a Section 609 letter, we've got an example, a sample one, but again, change it up, make it your own. It's not the be-all, end-all template. It's a guidepost for you, okay? You want to make these your own and write them up. So these letters, these 609 letters, these demands for validation go to the creditors, okay? You will, by and large, have more success with a third party in this situation. What I mean by that is, let's say you have an account with Capital One and it goes bad, and they sell it to Midland Collection Agency. You will have more luck validating the debt through Midland, who currently owns the debt, than you will if they didn't sell it, if you're going through your original creditor. Why? Because the original creditor is going to have more of the stuff needed to prove it. I mean, that's pure and simple. They'll have the things, the items, the documents, those things that are needed to prove it, okay? So you'll have more luck on a third party than you'll have on an original creditor. That's not to say don't do it. It's just to say where you'll have more luck. Now, if they can't validate that it's collectible, if they can't validate that it is accurate, then you can demand deletion from your credit report, okay? So verification goes to the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Validation goes to the creditors, the people you owe the money to. Now, there are some misconceptions when it comes to the 609 letter or the validation, okay? One misconception is they need to give you an original wet ink signature of the contract, okay? No snowball's chance in hell that you're ever going to need that you're ever going to get that you'll ever be given it, or that any judge on the planet would say that they have to. There's no law that says they have to. In fact, it kind of reads the other way. What you're doing if you're asking for the original wet ink signature is you're like literally asking for the original copy of the contract that you signed, and you're asking them to give it to you so they no longer have it to enforce things in court. They're not giving that to you. Anyone who thinks they will is smoking crack, okay? So you're not going to get the wet ink signature. They also don't have to give you massive, huge, horrendous chains of ownership and things like that. There's very few things that actually constitute validation they have to give you. It is reasonable to ask for a certified copy of the original contract. It is reasonable to ask for evidence that you owe it. And I'll tell you what, a statement, a billing statement, that's hearsay. That is. I mean, at the end of the day, that's hearsay. I'm not going to get into a legal dispute or a legal, I'm not going to get into a legal discussion about this, but you need something more than that, something more solid than that. Me issuing you a bill saying you owe me money, that doesn't mean you owe money. I need to be able to prove why you owe the money. They have the same thing. They need to be able to prove why. Well, the billing statement says you shopped at Target. Okay, that doesn't say I entered into this contract. So they need to provide you with that. That's validation. So verification goes to the credit bureaus. Validation goes to the creditors. These are the most common questions. This is the most common source of confusion in the credit restoration and credit repair process. But I'll tell you what, this is the first step in the process. The first step before you pay on a collection. The first step before you really do anything is to verify and validate and document that this information is accurate. Now, as far as which one do you do first? Verification or validation? The answer is yes. Send them out both simultaneously. Send your validation to the creditors, send your verification to the bureaus. You can do that simultaneously. They do not interact. They do not conflict. So why wait? Go ahead, release the hounds, go get them, all right? That's verification. That's validation. We have sample examples of a simple verification dispute letter in the files section of the free credit repair advice group, and that's a free file. That's a free letter for you to use. If you're paying other groups for templates and stuff, stop, That's insane. These are written by professionals, okay? Written by a law firm, in fact. So you'd be kind of crazy not to use the free ones. There's a free validation sample up in there. And you have professional credit coaches. You've got Credilife certified coaches, and you've got FICO certified credit coaches who are willing to give you some advice here, right here in the free credit repair advice group on that. So if you're looking to do a self-driven credit repair or just get your feet wet a little bit, that is going to be your first step. Mind you, before you do the verification validation letters, I would recommend you go to the files section and you read 2 documents. One of them is called Pro Tips, and one document is called Credit IQ. They'll give you kind of a step-by-step set of instructions for a self-driven credit restoration. So before you start sending letters and going off half-cocked, it's good to have a plan. It's good to know what you're getting yourself into. So that's verification. That's validation. All right, I'm going to jump into some questions here in the group. I hope you guys are finding this beneficial. Let me just refresh a page over here so I can get to all of the questions. Wow, we got a few comments already. Hang on a sec. In the group, I hope you guys are finding this beneficial. Wow, that's me. Let me just refresh. There we go. That's called a delay, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Get back to the beginning. Okay. Hey, lots of hellos. Red. Free, hey. 5 business days, Isaac says. Creditors have 30 days to respond to the bureaus, 45 calendar days. You shall await results. Let's see what else we got. All right. Andrea Serrano says, so if I want to investigate an account for being closed and another account for being late and another for the price, I put it all in one letter? Yes. Yeah, you say, tell me this about this account and tell me that about that account and tell me that about that account over there. And if you don't, do it, I demand you delete it. That's exactly right, Andrea. You've got a good understanding. Can you verify different aspects on one letter? Sam T. Mack asks. Yes, you can. Different aspects about different accounts, but do not go after more than one aspect per account, or you can wind up getting deemed frivolous, and they don't have to do any of the investigation. All right, Isaac said, how many rounds should you do before deciding to settle? Should I do 27 rounds? I personally, professionally recommend 4 to 5 rounds of investigation on a debt that you owe on. And if you've done 4 to 5 rounds of investigation and they've verified everything, I then contact the creditor, settle the debt, get their skin out of the game, take away their motivation to verify, and then do a few more rounds of investigation. It becomes a bad business decision to do all this verification if there's no money to be made. Great question, Isaac. Mark says, when should you send a 611? 611 is really meant for after they fail at validation. So that's meant to go to the creditor. It's using Section 611 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. That's a little bit more sophisticated letter. That's going to be when you've done a lot of reading. Maybe you've read the FCRA yourself. Read Section 611 before sending them off so you know what you're doing, okay? And if you don't, I have no sympathy for you because I warned you. Let's see. Sarah Denham says, love knowing we don't have to send certified. Yeah, Sarah, if I just saved you some money, go ahead and donate to our Haiti mission. We're sending our own missionary to Haiti to feed starving children. So if you think I saved you some money, send them $5 because I know I saved you more than that. Andrea Bellinger says, I went through the initial process, then sent 611 letters, and the response was that I needed to contact the creditors, and they don't send us proof right now. I would contact the creditors, send the 611 to the creditor. Keisha says, thanks so much for the info. You're welcome. Yep, making sure it's 100% correct. Alexandra says, when should I use the 611? After you've gotten unsatisfactory results. John Master Giovanni says, who do you send the inquiry deletion to? I got to be honest, John, professionally, I don't send any of them. It's a waste of time. Inquiries, while they affect your score for 5 to 15 points each, they only stay on your credit for 12 months. As far as impacting it, they show up for 24. They only impact your credit for 12 months. And you're allowed unlimited automotive inquiries. You're allowed unlimited mortgage inquiries. You're allowed unlimited student loan inquiries within a 30-day period. And 15 days after the completion of that 30 days, they only count it as 1 per bureau. I don't worry about inquiries. It's such a small portion. Literally, if that's the only problem you got going on your credit, and if I review your credit and I see that's the only problem, I'll be stunned. I'll help you send the damn thing. But chances are there's always something else. Let's see. Andrea Serrano, do we send validation verification at the same time? Yes, I do, and professionally we do. Maisha Monique, what about late payments and student loans and child support? Can that be done for these? You bet, Monique. Every single thing on your credit report is subject to the same rules under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, for verification and validation. So yeah, you can send those letters in regards to anything that's reporting on your credit. Wonderful question. Chrissy says, do I still send the letters if I know the debt is mine? Absolutely. You just don't dispute it. You investigate it. You dispute it if it's not yours. You dispute it if you know it to be wrong. You investigate it if you know it's yours, but you'd just like them to prove it or remove it. Chrissy says, the collection agency validated the debt. Now what? Just pay it? If they validated the debt, you can pay it, or you can go into the 611 letter. Tita says, what's the 611? It's another letter. Go ahead and give it a read. Also give the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, Section 611, a read before you use it. Sam T. Max says, do we send second round of letters to the credit collectors, the credit bureaus, or just the bureaus? Really, unless you think you got something, just keep hitting the bureaus. The bureaus are usually the weakest link in the puzzle. Tangela says, hold on a second. Tangela says, how to tackle late payments on open accounts? Okay, you typically don't want the open account to be gone. So if you're investigating late payments on an open account, you're asking for a slightly different thing. You're not asking them to delete the account if they don't verify it. You're asking them to update the payment status to show no late if they can't verify that you were indeed late. Otherwise, you still do an investigation letter to the credit bureaus. Good question. Tata says, thanks for explaining it in a way that's easy to understand. You bet. I wanted to just drop it down real simple. There are a bunch of credit groups on Facebook, and not one of the damn places have I ever seen it explained clearly. And I want to make this, available for you guys. I'm not all about just pitching Credilife here. I may be a Credilife coach, and I may want our company to do gangbusters. But Credilife sponsors the Free Credit Repair Advice Group for a reason. We know that not everyone can afford it. Not everyone needs professional help. And we want this knowledge out there. All right, what do we got? Amber Yeager says, so do you still have to pay after they delete the account from the credit bureaus? Yeah, Amber, you do. Here's why. Number one, you owe the money. Number two, they could resell the debt. They, being the creditor, could resell the debt. So XYZ Collection Company could sell it to ABC Collection Company. And ABC Collection Company would be well within their rights to add that debt to your credit report, hurting your credit again. So yeah, you'll want to address it. Rachel McDonald Cormier says, if you get a settlement, is it better just to pay it and wait till it's investigated? And can you call and offer less? And what's the chance they might take less? I'll tell you what, if the settlement offer is awesome, take it. I've seen some settlement offers from Sprint lately that have been like 20% of what's owed. Even though you're doing investigations on something like that, man, you can buy a lot of credit repair for 80% off on most of these cases. So yeah, take it. Is there a chance they'll settle for less? Sure. It's never going to hurt to call. And then what's the chance they might take less? The chance is 0 if you don't call them and ask. Great question. Send the Haiti info. Awesome, Sarah. Yeah, Mark will drop the Haiti info. I'm real excited about this. We're actually sending my daughter, Katie, and that scares the shit out of me, to Haiti. And she's going to be on the ground working with educators down there. She's also bringing direct supplies to them, so it's not going to pass through 18 aid organizations and then politicians down there. So by the time it gets to the people, there's nothing to give the people. And also, she's teamed up with Feed My Starving Children, and we found a way to feed these ultra-nutritious meals to kids who are literally going to starve to death otherwise, and 25 cents gives them a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner. So to put this into proportion, this thing was $3. I could have fed 12 kids with that, but I've donated. My conscience is clean. Have you? So awesome. Thanks. Let's see. Bill Bird says, can you verify if you are paying on a judgment? You can always verify. Always, always verify. Investigate, investigate, investigate. Use your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Susan Washburn says, is there a difference in what you settled on and what's owed being considered income? If so, what do I do? Great question. Sometimes if you settle, you get a hell of a settlement. Sometimes they'll send you a 1099 MISC. It's miscellaneous income. At that point in time, it's considered income for tax purposes. If so, what do? You got to talk to your tax advisor. Never take tax advice from Jeremy. Talk to your tax advisor. Trust me, you'll thank me. Andrea says, thanks for reading my comment, Jeremy. I'll start in the 611s and creditors tomorrow. Awesome, do it. Josue says, Cervantes says, how to handle late payments on closed accounts. The same way. Send that investigation letter and say, hey, investigate these, document that I was late, document it's me, document the account's right, document the status is right, or I demand you delete it. See what else we got going on? Kiera versus CC, how many days do they have to respond to your letter? All right, when you mail the letter off to the bureaus have 5 business days to notify the creditors in question. The creditors have 30 calendar days to respond back to the bureaus with the verification that it's accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable today. Now, when the bureaus get that back or don't get that back, they take about 7 business days to send you result letters. So the cycle is about 45 days. When you send a letter off to the creditors, when you send a 609 letter, that sort of thing, a validation letter directly to the creditors, they've got 30 days to respond to you. Hope that answered your question well. Alexandra says, what if I want to remove late payments on an opened account? What letter do I use? You would use a verification letter. Hang on one sec. All right. What numbers do it? All right, let's see. So we got how long they've got to respond to the letter. All right, Samantha says, so this is a very specific one. All right. I purchased a new car December 31st, 18. That's in the future. I think you mean 17. So we purchased a new car December 31st. Traded in my old car that I had paid 2 years on without missing a single payment, even late. It was with a company that I was paying outrageous interest, but they reported that I needed help build up my credit. The dealership didn't pay off the loan to the end of February. Now my credit shows late. Creditor refuses to take it off. Anything I do? Yeah. Send verification letters. Hit up the bureaus. Pound them. Verify. They'll get sick of it, and they will be tired of responding, and odds are real good if they're that disorganized that they will probably end up screwing that up too. Maisha says, thanks, cool. Mark says, want to hire a coach, book a consultation, mention my name and save $25. Yeah, this is kind of slick. You guys, we have $25 off. We hit 50,000 members, and so we're doing discounts. John says, do you ask for all late payments on one account to be verified or just 1 month that was late? Oh, John, you asked for them all. Go for them all. All right, what else we got? There's the Haiti link. Fantastic. Tata Peterson says, once the debt's removed, can they put it back on my credit report? Tata, great question. If you use letters, they can't put it back on without going through this really bad, elaborate thing that they won't do. So it's not going to go back on that way. The only way the debt's going to reappear on your credit then is if it gets sold to another creditor. So once like a collection is deleted from the credit bureaus, that's the time to strike. You go in, you work out a settlement. And plus, you've never been in a more powerful position to settle the damn thing. Look, they can't report to your credit. What else they got? Call you and bug you? So you call them up, you say, hey, would you take this on it? They say, no, we won't do that. And you say, hey, well, you couldn't report it right. So, that's something you can go back on. Great question. All right, Chrissy says, I have a 30-day to 60-day late and a 90-day late. What do I ask them to remove first? All of them. Mika Wood says, how do we get student loans off the report that are open? I have 60 in student loans. I need to get a house. My recommendation would be to consolidate them or something like that first. I wouldn't do investigating. If you're working with student loans, I wouldn't do investigating prior to getting them back in good standing. If they're not in good standing, I wouldn't do investigating prior to consolidating them. If you're looking to consolidate or rehab them, if you're looking to rehab. So that's kind of a second, third level question. You may want to make a post in the group about that. We can get more specific into your details there. Alexandra says, why do I have to pay it once it's removed? Well, because you owe the money and they can still sue your ass. Chrissy says, do I have to have settlement money ready before I start sending out the letters? No, you don't. But it's a good time to start saving. Chrissy says, I have an account that's 6.5 years old. Should I just let it fall off? That's up to you. If you want your credit better, I'd send the investigation letters. Is pay for delete good to do? Yeah, it's kind of like a unicorn. If you can find one, they're really neat to see. But we don't see very many of them in all reality. Will a goodwill letter work? No, that's kind of like a people in hell want ice water kind of thing. Hold on one second. All right. I want to get out of mod questions for a little bit. All right. So Chiquita asks, can they resell my debt when it's been over 7 years? You know, they can. That's kind of known as zombie debt at that point in time, though. They can't report the debt to your credit. They can't act on it. They can't sue you. There's really nothing they can do but call you and bug you. And that's when those whack jobs start calling you and say you're going to be under arrest, or they're sending the police, or they're going to send lawsuits to your work, and you have to have HR. And usually it's someone who sounds like they're on crack on the other end of the line with you. They're swearing and stuff like that. I don't know. I typically tell them to go outside and play hide and go F themselves. Sometimes I drag them along for a little while if I'm bored. Otherwise, there's a block feature on my iPhone that works tremendously well for it. But can they resell it? Sure. Can they do anything about it? Nope. The only thing that they can do something about after that 7-year mark is if they've gotten a judgment on you. That works into a whole legal aspect, and that's a whole different can of worms that varies state by state by state. Mark's put up a link for the Express Audit. Yeah, Express Audit is a heck of a thing. If you guys are looking to do a self-driven credit restoration. If you're looking to do that and you're not 100% certain, where do I start? What do I want to do? But maybe you're not in the position where you want to hire Credilife as a full program yet. We've got something called the Express Audit. It's pretty slick. It's $49. Is it 39 or 49? Here, let me hit this link. See if they do need help. I know. Yeah, you can literally do it to see if you do need help. Oh God, they dropped it. It's $39.99. Okay. So what this is it literally does an audit of your 3-bureau credit report, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It goes through and identifies the things that need work, the things that need help, the things that need to be addressed, where you can do your improvements and stuff like that. And then they bundled it up. It comes with a 30-minute coaching strategy session with a certified Credilife coach. So the coaching, normally you can buy coaching a la carte or whatever from Credilife, and it's $150 an hour. And you can usually buy the Express Audit. The Express Audit was $40, and so they bundled it together for $39.99 for some reason, and you get both of them. So yeah, if you're wondering, do I need help, or is it bad enough to hire someone, without diving in and spending that kind of money, it's a good way to find out. Also, if you're teetering on the edge of, do I do it myself? Do I hire someone? That'll do it. Or if you're like, damn it, I'm doing it myself, this will at least get a professional strategy going, so you know you're doing it right. Right out of the gate. It's a good bang for your buck. Totally a good bang for your buck. Let's see what else we got going on. Bum, 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 bum. You're so real. I love it. Thanks, Chiquita. I try. Yeah, there's not a lot fake about me. What if I have a payment arrangement on a collection? Should I stop paying and investigate it? Yeah, I would never stop paying a collection. You want to get sued? Awesome way to do it is to stop paying. Andrea, thank you so much. You're welcome so much. What if I accidentally investigated and open an account and it was removed? Can I get it back to report? Yeah, you can call them and beg. That's about all you can do. All right, guys. So let me just scroll through. Hang on. All right. Any other members have any questions? Otherwise, I want to wrap this up. This was kind of a short, sweet, direct. I hope you guys found value in this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you did, give me a smiley face or a heart face. You give me a frowny face. But otherwise, give me a smile, give me a thumbs up. Oh, here we got a question. Sam Mack, I have student loans that are connected to the same account number that have late payments. Yeah, consolidated, but how can I get it deleted? If it's open and active, it's harder to get it deleted, but literally you do it through the same process. Investigate with the bureaus. That's going to be your ticket to getting it removed. Doing 609 letters and stuff like that to the student loan. Oftentimes I'll say there's nothing to be said with the poking the bear. I don't play with student loans, man. That stuff's fed. So just do investigations to the bureaus if you want to press that, okay? I typically don't approach it unless I've got them exactly where they're going to be for like the rest of their life. But you'll want to do investigations to the bureaus in that position. All right, Sarah Pierce says, I have new credit cards, self-lender, Finger Hut, coming onto my credit report soon. My thoughts were to wait until they hit it before I pull annual credit report and start my letters. Is that wrong? What's best? Hey, it's a great question, Sarah Pierce. You can do that, or you can start now. Here's the deal. If you're looking to do a real credit repair and development and investigation. I mean, if you're serious about this, you're going to want to pony up about $22 a month. Okay, and you're going to want to get either Smart Credit or Identity IQ. Both of those are usually $30 a month, but we got links. Mods, if you could drop the links in chat for her, that'd be awesome. We got links for both of them that can get it to you for $21.95 of them or $99 or whatever, 4-cent difference per month. Anyway, like $22 a month. So you save like $8 there, but it'll let you pull up a full 3-bureau credit report monthly and track your progress and see how you're going and stuff like that. You're not worried about the score. Don't get score anxiety. Don't worry about the score. Don't be checking Credit Karma and, oh crap, my score went up 5 points and down 4 points and up 3 points. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If your profile is in the right position, your score is simply a derivative of the profile. So the nuts and bolts, the pieces that are important. So here's the question. Do you want to wait for better credit? If you want to wait for better credit, yeah, go ahead and wait till they're reporting and stuff like that to pull up your credit and start doing investigations. Or if you want to get ahead of it and start owning this crap today and get that much closer to a better life, start now. If you're not worth dropping $22 a month on to monitor your credit and really get ahead of it, if you can't justify $22 spent on yourself, your problem is not your credit. All right, what else we got? You can probably recycle cans and come up with $22 or something. At least in Iowa, you can. You get like a nickel, dime per can. Well, I got Chris in here.
But back to that.
It says somewhere here.
Back to that person's question, though. Why?
What was the question? What was the question?
She wanted to wait for Fingerhut and something.
Oh yeah, don't wait. No sense to wait. Don't wait.
All you're going to do is see it. You're still going to work on the negative.
Yeah, I should keep you in here just to keep me on track. That's Chris Kruger, one of our certified Credilife coaches. All right, AJ, best detailing. Can I pay on the original creditor? Of course you can. You always can. But if you're asking, can I pay the original creditor when the debt's gone to like Midland Collections? No. Play the ball where it lies. Pay the debt where it's sitting. Life will be good. Don't complicate it. Just don't make it any harder than it needs to be. You want to spend your time doing a pissing match about that, or would you rather get it done, get it cleared up, go on with your life and use your time for something a lot more interesting than credit? Right. Justice Spiegel says, what does he say, or they say, she say, they say? What about, say, debt that's not reporting from the same company you're investigating on? Would they start reporting it? No, the investigation is not going to make someone start reporting. That's not really a thing. All right, Erica Curtis. I asked for lates to be investigated. Smart Credit shows info disputed by consumer meets FCRA requirements. That means a round of investigations got done. You disputed, you investigated, and they got results back. That means it's time for round 2. You're going to ask about a different aspect. If you asked about the account balances, you'll ask about the status or dates or the account number. You're going to send another round of investigation letters, pound them. You can do this 27 times and never ask the same question twice. Nail them for it. All right. Raven says, I started paying on collections account before I found this group. I'm continuing to pay it until it's paid off. Do I send out letters? Yes, send out letters. Absolutely send out letters. Put the burden of proof into the hands of the people who reported the nastiness about you. Because if they can't verify it, it's got to be deleted. Or as I like to say, if they can't prove it, they must remove it. If they can't prove it, they must remove it. Say it with me. If they can't prove it, they must remove it. They can't prove it.
Gotta remove it.
That's right. They got to remove it. If they can't prove it, they got to remove it. All right. What else we got going on? Erica said, I asked for lates to be investigated. Oh, yeah, we did that. Raven says, I started paying on collection. Gosh, I'm behind. Smart Credit, there it is. Sam says, so you speak about profile. What should our profile look like? I'll tell you what, the base core profile. Okay, most people come to me and they're like, Jeremy, I want credit better. And I say, why? And they're like, because I want to be able. About 85% of the people I talk to want to get into their first home or buy a house. That's probably the biggest goal of most people I talk to. So let's talk about House requirements. And that's actually a topic down the road of one of the ones, the big goals one. But when I'm talking about goals, most people say houses. So a standard baseline profile for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA loans, VA loans, or USDA loans happens to be 2 revolving accounts, credit cards, open and active with a perfect payment history, 1 installment account, such as like our self-lender, we'll put up a link for self-lender, with a perfect payment history and at least a 24-month credit depth. Now, credit depth, that's time. We can't do anything about that. But remember that question earlier, should I wait? No, let's do things sooner rather than later. But a baseline profile, you want at least 1 installment loan with a good history and 2 revolving accounts, credit cards with a good history. Now, you want more than that. We also recommend a retail card such as Fingerhut to develop a history on that. And there's a lot more you can do next level stuff, but that's the base profile. All right, what else we got? Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for stopping in, Bill. Appreciate having you guys as group members and all that. Here, Brenda says, if I have a student loan and still owe on it, does it cancel my chances of buying a home? Nope. So there. 4 student loans deleted as of today on Experian. Renee says, thanks, Credilife. Rock on. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I think I came up to the end of the question. So if you like this, give us thumbs up, give us things like that. I'll tell you what. If you have not followed us on CrediTV on Facebook, not Facebook, what am I talking about? YouTube, the other one, the big one. CrediTV, CrediTV on YouTube. It is our channel. This is the CrediTV free credit repair advice Facebook Live, okay? So Google CrediTV, CrediTV, it'll take you right to our channel. Subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. We've got Facebook Lives on there. We've got stuff that we made directly for CrediTV. We've got our financial foundations and credit class I teach for the Minneapolis public school system on there. All kinds of great educational stuff. Give us comments, give us likes, thumbs up, all that type of stuff. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time here in the free credit repair advice group for CrediTV Facebook Live. We've got different topics each and every week. Now, we're going to be taking July 4th night off. Why? Because it's a Wednesday night and it's July 4th. I'm going to watch things blow up, preferably in the sky, preferably that should. And Chris laughs because he knows me. Basically, you know, all bets are off, though, typically on something like that. That's why they don't let me buy fireworks. But, yeah, join us. You can find in the events section of the Free Credit Repair Advice Group. You can find the upcoming topics and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, if you need professional help, if you want professional help, if you want a FICO certified credit coach with 25 years of credit experience, you want people with banking experience, mortgage experience, they know the FICO algorithm inside and out. And I'm not talking that they know how to read a graph and go, well, 10%'s made it. No, these people know the FICO algorithm. You want a Credilife certified coach. And if you want the best in the industry, go ahead and click on our link and get a no cost, no initial commitment consultation to find out what program is best for you. And you can talk to a Credilife certified coach and you can find out that this is really going to be a good idea. And you can figure out just how much your life can be changed. All right, guys, I am Jeremy Deysach, FICO certified credit coach, founder of the Free Credit Repair Advice Group, and Chief Pumbaa of CrediTV. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye now.